Today is day 128 of the Arukh HaShulchan OC. Today, this cycle, it is now Erev Yontif, Erev Sukkot, and it is less than an hour and a half before Lich Pension. So we're going to make this quick, Bezos Hashem Yisborach, and then I'll have to do tomorrow's, Sundays, which is the second day Yontif here in Chutz La'aretz on Sunday night, and I apologize to Bnei Eretz Yisrael who might have wanted to get to it quicker. In any event, I'm only human. Sorry. So if you'd like to sponsor an upcoming shir of the Arukh HaShulchan OC, it would be greatly appreciated. Please contact me directly. We are doing now Siman Tzadik, Sif Zayin to Siman Tzadik, Sif Yud Gimel. Design. According to all interpretations we saw yesterday, opposite the windows. The low rate of but we haven't seen anybody being meticulous about this. Father, on the contrary, he wrote, people choose to daven opposite the wall, which is not opposite the window. And the place of the Rav, Kodesh, in all places is by the Aron Kodesh and Shem Chaloin, where there's no window. And the Arukh HaShulchan gives the reason why this should be so is because opposite the window there is confusion because people walking in front of the window. It seems to me the world holds me since it doesn't say opposite the window in the Gemara. It's only a house which has windows. The inference is that there have to be windows in the base of Knesset, but not they have davened specifically opposite them. That which our Rabbeim said that you should look. Good work that you can see it in the sky, even if you're not directly opposite the window. The Zohar writes, "Dog call base Knesset the lace bechamon knows." Any shul which has no windows, is not a place that's proper to daven. But based on Knesset is the because the shul down here on earth, the Kabbal based on Knesset law corresponds to shul on high. The Yisbei which has 12 heavenly windows. And there should also be 12 windows down here below in the shul. Only the Kepedas that there be windows. And there should be 12 windows. And shuls try to have 12 windows when possible. So it's to listen to the Zohar in this respect. I also endorses 12 windows. In the brackets he here has a quick problem with Mogen Avram, which we will skip. The Mishnah Berurah writes that you should have at least a few windows opposite the side Yadam to Yerushalayim. I always understood personally that the windows is a psychological thing. When one can perceive one's tefillos is going up and out through the windows to either towards Yerushalayim or towards Shamayim, like the Zohar says, and therefore even if you're not specifically looking out the window, it accomplishes a positive purpose. You should only daven in a confined area, a house. The it's not in a place which is open, like a field or like an open field or an open valley. Unless you're on the road. If there are trees, Tov Shiamo Ben Loans is best to stand among the trees. The Mishnah Berurah says that's only if you don't have to go to your way to find those trees and make yourself late on the road. He also says in your own house you should not rely on trees. A house which has no windows is better than an open area. Of course, now when this has been made, we're in the middle of the coronavirus epidemic, and many of us are davening in open tents. Obviously, there are exigencies which lead to leniencies. Daven in a courtyard. When you're in a more private place, you have more of the fear of the king. When your heart is more broken. If there is refuse or pigs in the house, you spell the chotzer in the chotzer in a place which is clean. The chotzer which is place is so bad, and it's a makom sheish chashash. If you go over the drachim, in one opinion, it's only where you're afraid you're going to be interrupted that it's an issue they have daven inside. Otherwise, you daven outside. And in brackets he says, Avsha Beis Yosef Tachat Yerushalayim, and Beis Yosef repudiates the response. Achatas about Magen Avraham, usually Tuftam Mayin Sham, the Taz and Magen Avraham respond to that. Zohar lo Mashal lo Kain. He says from a Zohar, which is I'm not sure which Zohar, of course, does not seem that way. I'm not sure, but it seems from the Zohar because there's a quote. Test. Shows baderech lo yikanes l'chor b'lispalo. When you're walking along the road, you should not go into a ruin. Because of suspicion. They should not say he has a harlot there that he's visiting. Ma'am, a Polish also be named in Polish. Also because the ruin might come crashing down upon him. The name is taken also because of shading. If the ruin is middle of the field, the zone, there's no suspicion of a harlot. They don't usually come out to the field. So if it's a ruin which is strong and healthy, there's no problem of it falling in. Two people enter it later. There's no issue of shading. Because we have a tradition. To one person, the shade appears and can damage him. The two, he can be seen, but he doesn't damage. When the three people are near a cloud, he's not seen at all. So if there are two people there, at least they're afraid they won't be damaged even they see him. Also, if there are two people there, there's also no issue of harlotry. Okay, unless they are people who are poruts. If a person has a torch in hand, he is considered to be like two. And if the moon is shining, he's like three. Visa therefore besode in the field, korba chazaka and a strong korba. Ushnayim, and with two people, or avuka, one person with a torch, mutzalikan is you're allowed to go in. The Torah will say and that's superior to having along the road. Even though it's not roofed over. The roof is not the issue. He's afraid that people interrupt him. He's bar b'simukov yud. And then the Arukh HaShulchan is a fan of Avinenu. We'll see in Simukov yud. Yud, Arukh Hashem. Yud, Arukh Chazal. Chazal say, "Come Misbah Chorei Beis HaKnesset behind the shul Nikar Rasha." It's called a wicked person. Shneimar because it says Misaviv around the Rishonim. It's like on the Rishonim walk. The Lomar and Lomar had to make Nishta so he doesn't look towards the shul. But if he turns his face towards the shul, later that's not a problem. Yeshiv some say Shachor Beis HaKnesset behind the shul Nikar Tzad Marav means the western side, Shabbat Pesach, in which there is the opening. Therefore, if it's not facing the shul, he's facing away. His backside is towards the shul. V'nikra Karosh is called a wicked person. It seems like he's not pikoris. Everybody's bowing east. He's bowing west. Looks like there are two authorities here. When he turns towards the shul, he's also bowing down to the east. He's behind the eastern wall. He should specifically put his backside towards the shul. In order to dive into the east. Doesn't matter if he's putting his backside towards the shul. They can say Sefer Torah. Sefer Torah show his face, but not necessarily the shul. But some people say specifically like this. Because of Mizrach, he's standing behind the eastern wall. And he can't turn his back towards the shul. But no, he's still bowing in the same direction as all of the community inside the shul. Rather, he should face the shul. And bow down to the west. The primary issue is having his backside face the shul. But then he's bowing to the west. It's not a problem. Because he's bowing down towards the wall of the shul. According to this, this way, in that case, you can't win on the eastern side at all. If you turn towards the east, also the parish chains, we're in the second shot. But over the side Marav, he turns to the west, also parish chains, also the first shot. They all say Neter. And there is no way to be out to both opinions. Let's go around to the west side and face the shore. With sides of home, they're run by the Chashash. On the north and south sides, there are no issues. The point of the Mizrach, he turns face to the east, and his back to the west. Marav, like the rest of the community. Even he's standing outside, it's called davening together with the tzibur. I guess, presuming that even if he didn't hear them, because he knows the davening is davening at the same time. Okay. Meal mitzvah now mukha is probably basically that's not but it is a bigger mitzvah down inside the shul. The day you should know that meal inside mitzvah should also b'achor of the base of Knesset. Perish Hashoni, you should know that this standing towards the east, and when it's also to put your backside towards the shul. Perish Hashoni, you should know that standing in the street. But if there's a building before the eastern wall, that the eastern wall also is the wall of that building. I feel that even according to this interpretation, how made a person standing inside that building adjacent to the shul should bow down inside Mizrach, should bow to the east. Even though its backside is the east side of the wall of the shul, it's not seen as being putting his backside towards the shul because he's standing in his own rishus. Mr. Brewer writes that this is true also about the Azoros in the as a Snoshim, I guess, or something else, other small rooms which are built in the eastern wall. You're allowed to dive in there. Nevertheless, it's best at the time that they build these auxiliary rooms, they should make them on the other side and not on the east, because it's not 100% glad. They should actually can dive in there towards the away from the shul. Okay, this sounds like in a pinch you could do it. Your base also lavor chutz base Knesset, eitzel pizza base Knesset, not allowed to walk outside the shul by the open shul when the tzibur is davening. Mr. Burr says you should be machar even by Kriya Shema and Psukim de Zimra. Back to Shulam, as long as the door is open. But the near Bezek Porik, looks like he's taking off the yoke of the davening. Shober Eitz Pesach Shas Field because he's going by the opening during the time davening. But he's not going in. For Davka Kshem Beis Knesset Sacher B'Yitzoy, there's no other shul in the city. The Davka Kshem Beis Knesset Sacher, there's another shul in Chashash and Pam. So Roe Yoma, the person who sees it Yoma. Will say that Sholach Beis Knesset must go to the other shul. The left Davka Beis Knesset doesn't even mean that necessarily another shul. There's no any other place where he was davening, like a private house. You can pass by. But this shul, there are 2 minyanim at different times. After each other. So it's okay. The royal mash Christ below. Person sees will say either you're ready to daven or it's going about to daven. Also be so carrying a burden on his head or go on his body, or riding on a horse, or no say a corona, or riding on in a wagon, etc. Mutar, it's permissible. Everybody sees that he's distracted by this. Also he's walking with a non-Jew, rowing shutarim, they see that he's distracted by that. Also he's wearing tefillin, it's okay. You can't assume that he's throwing off the yoke, since he is wearing tefillin. The nearly to Adin Talis. Seems to be that the same thing is true by a Talis. The Yosanir, it seems more and more so that I feel like no say a Talis. But tefillin beyond the mutter, even if it's just carrying the Talis of tefillin, still permissible. The Chasina Shenami Parky always see is not somebody who is casting off the yoke. Also, there are 2 openings to the shul. Mutter is permissible. Sheikan is there, but Pesach is going to go through the other opening. Nearly Davka Shem B'Shtei Ruchos. It seems to me this is only when there are 2 sides. But Ruach Achas, but the 2 doors are on the same side. They see he's not going into the second opening either. It brings better pass behind the church than behind a shul. Yud Gimel, Atfil Yosef Mekubel is the best, the most accepted tefillah. Mitzvah Yosef and the greatest mitzvah was Spa Beis HaKnesses. Is to daven in a shul. With the community to receive Hein Kel Kabir Loimas. The mighty God shall not repudiate. Rabim Godomod, and the merit of the masses great. They minin v'kokach milomal tefillas tzibur. They don't not so meticulous about the tefillah of tzibur kamal tefillas yachid in terms of having great kavanah. V'imi Yamshal Olech Beis HaKnesses can't go to shul b'yicholas to kala so minyam bebeso. But he can gather easily many in his house. Ain't love tirchov because it's not so difficult. Not for him, nor for the people who are going to attend. If you consider of them, yes, I can. You should do it. So, if it's too difficult, he's davening as an individual in his household. If you come never see Hades, but also he should Tzibur Spalim. It's best to daven at the same time the Tzibur is davening. Now, during the coronavirus times when shuls were closed, were semi-closed, they advertised the time which they're davening in shul, and to other people to daven there. But at that time, but also they advertised that no one was going to come up here, that every individual in every house could daven at the same time. There's also schlusa rabbin. That's the way it was. In other words, they're all people daven simultaneously in the various different houses. There's also some sort of schus. Here it's not mentioned, at least not yet. We shall see. Perhaps it will. I don't think so. People live in communities where there is no meaning. When the community is down in the city, that's the tzibur is very late. It's better in that case not to be concerned with Shah Shatzim Spalim, so I'll be chilson davening as an individual. At sunrise, it's better than davening at the time of the tzibur. Shita, the tzibur Spalim married me both yom. So certainly ways the tzibur davens married early. He's having it home. Tzibur should not pay attention. Tzibur Spalim was nice time at the proper time. Etc. So Mitzvah daven shul, even if you're davening be a chidus. The tefillah shebeitzches is yoyz shmas masha beiso. The tefillah in shul is heard more than that which is in the house. Yesh kedusha rabba, there's greater kedusha there. B'zeh shamru, the brackets here brings the question from Yerushalmi and Luis Torchin. Okay, not for now. B'zeh shamra, manu sheyaderes ba'esa tzibur shpalim. That we say a person should be tikkun down the time that tzibur is davening. Is zel shpalim also tefillah dafka. So when davening mincha, you're davening mincha. Now when they're davening marv, you're davening mincha. Because they can't keep spelling the tzibur. And Mispalel Shachris, a tzibur musaf is davening shachris, the tzibur is davening musaf, or lehefer or vice versa. Lo mikra spelling the tzibur, it's not called davening with the tzibur. It's a Mogen Avram. Mashi stop it, there's the brackets. Mashi the stop Mogen Avram, but that Mogen was not clear, but even at Taisvis, I'm not sure what Taisvis said. The Pshita Mispalel based on Mishosha, with tzibur, it's clearly that somebody's davening in his house, and trying to tzibur is davening, and the Dimayonli Mispalel Matir Mamish. It's not all like davening with tzibur. Literally, he doesn't join them at all. My ducha Mogen Avram lukma zebi don riskla tafka. Why should Mogen Avram say specifically talk about when there is danger out in the world with tzarich il? Somebody's looking inside the Mogen Avram. I hope that will become clear. Mishnah Berurah says that that which we said that. You can't go to shul with somebody who's weak, even if he's not sick, because if it's something which has to do with money, it's going to come to lose money. That also you can daven at home, be chidus, or in a shul without a tzibur. But if it's just you're going to make less profit, then you should not refrain from davening with the tzibur. It says if it's time b'chacham, there's possibly chil Hashem when you're going to come after davening to daven in the shul by yourself. Better to be davening in your house. Sure adds that, also writes that if you're davening with a tzibur with the Beisak in the Beisak Knesses, even though they're davening different, you're davening different field. They're davening Muslim, you're davening Shachris. Then also that's considered to be a tefillah with a tzibur. When I was a young lad, about 15, I think. So I was davening in the yeshiva where my uncle, Rabbi Ezra Shochet, was at the time Rebbe, and I davened Musaf before Shacharis because I came late to shul. It was a Rosh Chodesh, and they were davening Musaf, and I davened Musaf with them to make it see the tzibur, and then I asked him about davening Shacharis afterwards, and he was not happy with me, but he did look it up, and in fact, the halacha is like this: you're not supposed to do that. You should be mechaven your Shacharis to the Musaf that they're davening when you're in the shul itself, and then daven your Musaf Yechidus afterwards.